Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is the flight deck Captain Wilson speaking. Firstly, on behalf of all our crew, I'd like to welcome you on board this flawless 195 World Tour service from Yaounde to Malabo. This is flight 89 out of 210. If this is your first flight with us, then we do advise you watch the route explainer video. However, if you are a returning viewer, then please do get yourself subscribed to the channel. Well, it was an eventful one yesterday. Flight 88. We got blocked on the taxiway coming out, and then the landing into this airport was extremely dodgy, and something in hindsight I should have probably abandoned and done a go round, but we got it down. And the world tour continues. So this is flight 89. I will need every inch of this runway, I think, to get this thing off the ground. But it shouldn't be a problem, actually. It doesn't look that extreme. We should be fine, actually. But yeah, what to say? So departure time will be about 12:15 in the afternoon, local time. The flight time is expected to be about half an hour. Like I say, we're going over the coast and over to an island where the capital of Equatorial Guinea is, Malabo. So we're heading for Malabo Airport. We're in the UK time zone. What else? That's about it. Let's get on with it. I don't know what I'm going to do in terms of in-flight entertainment, in terms of music and whatnot, but we'll get the safety announcement thing on now, and we'll set up the plane and get out of here. All right, welcome to flight 89, Cameroon to Equatorial Guinea, Yaounde to Malabo. I'll speak to you when we are in the air. All right, thank you.
Please pay attention to illuminated signs and crew instructions, including the following safety procedures. The safety card found in your seat pocket contains important information about exit routes, oxygen masks, life jackets, and the brace position that you must adopt if you hear brace, brace. There are 8 emergency exits on this aircraft. The cabin crew are now pointing out the exits nearest to you. Please be aware that your nearest usable exit may be behind you. Emergency lighting will guide you to an exit. In an emergency, leave all baggage on board. Your seatbelt is fastened, adjusted, and released as shown. It must be fastened when the seatbelt signs are on. We recommend that you keep it fastened at all times. If the air supply fails, masks will drop from above you. Pull a mask towards you to start the oxygen. Put the mask over your nose and mouth and breathe normally. Hold the mask in place with the strap. Pull on each side to adjust. Put on your own mask before helping others. If we land on water, take a life jacket from under your seat. Remove from the pouch and put it over your head. Pass the tapes around your waist and click together. Pull the strap to adjust. Do not inflate it inside the aircraft. When outside, inflate it by pulling the toggle. If it fails to inflate or needs topping up, blow into this tube. There is a light and whistle for attracting attention. The cabin crew can assist you with life jackets for children. Your tray table must now be stowed, armrests down, window blinds open, and seatbelt fastened. Further information regarding your safety on board can be found in the in-flight magazine. We hope you have a great flight.
traffic F19519er5 taking off runway 03 west departure.
Cabin crew seats for takeoff.
Center F19519er5 is at 2,900 feet, climbing 12,000 feet.
F19519er5, Roseville, center altimeter 29.97 radar contact, continue.
everybody, and welcome to Paddock Uncut from the 2025 United States Grand Prix here in Austin, Texas. Your first look inside the Austin paddock, and lots to tell you about today. And for that, I'm joined by David Croft and Karun Chandok. We have got a lot to discuss. First of all, nice bit of Americana.
Yes.
Should we go and have a look at our ESPN, our broadcast partners ESPN, with their "This Ain't Our First Rodeo. Welcome to Circuit of the Americas, Austin."
It isn't the first rodeo. It's the 13th rodeo here at the Circuit of the Americas.
Right.
It's the first rodeo for 6 of these people in the picture, though.
That's very true. And for Gabriel Bortoletto,
Just saying.
Not only is it his first rodeo,
You
it's the first time he's ever been in Austin as well. He's never actually been to Austin before.
You
So
clearly weren't in the ESPN marketing meeting when you would have said, hang on, this is the first rodeo for Isaac Hadjar, Kimi Antonelli, Gabriel Bortoletto, not Liam Lawson, he was here last year.
Was he?
Yes, he was.
Yeah.
This was his first one. He replaced
it was.
Danny Rick.
Isaac Hadjar was here, but as a kind of spectator last year. I'll tell you
Anyway.
the first rodeo it is, Ted.
Yes.
Right, it's Karun Chandok's first rodeo because he
Is it?
didn't get the memo about the heat hazard.
I know.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, they've declared a heat hazard, so he's come in the thickest pair of jeans that he could possibly find.
Well, think about poor. Do we have a
Bully.
name for the bull?
Bully.
Yes.
Can't beat a bit of bully.
Do we have a name for him yet?
Yes, bully.
Right. Think about him. He must be hot under all that fur.
Fur?
I don't know.
Hide,
Hide.
Ted, hide. How are you feeling? Heat
I'm
hazard,
good.
sir.
I'm good, but you know I'm starstruck now because Mario Andretti's just arrived, and you know what a big Mario Andretti fan I am.
Do you want to stop doing this now and you can just go and have a quick chat with Mario
There's your
Andretti?
mate. There's your mate, Glenn Powell.
Oh, there's Glenn Powell.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
featuring in our coverage throughout the weekend, isn't
Yep.
he?
Yes, you'll hear a lot from Glenn Powell this weekend.
There he is. He's not being thrown out by the guy in the red, is he? Glenn Powell?
I think the guy in the
Oh,
red is
that's
trying to
good.
throw our producer out at the moment.
Oh, he is. He is trying to throw out.
Oh, he's throwing out producer.
He is.
Yes.
I think he's got a pass.
Ben, do you need a hand?
Ben,
You're with Glenn. Ben's with
Ben's
Glenn.
with Glenn.
Glenn.
Don't worry, Ben's with Glenn. That's all fine.
Glenn looks bemused.
Oh, look,
Ben
there's
is-
Mario's waving.
Ben
We're
is-
gonna-
Oh,
we say
come
hello.
Come on,
guys
go
say
on,
hi
go
to
and have
Mario?
a
Sorry,
word. Go on,
Can I
have a
go,
word with Mario. Go on, Karun.
Look. Hello. Bobby Epstein is here. Boss. The boss is here. How are you? Nice to see you. Thank you for having us back. Are you excited for the weekend?
Are you kidding? Of course. Of course. How can you not be excited to be here?
How's Cadillac going?
Cadillac is working very well, right? I mean, everyone is working flat out, so as you can imagine. But I think, we're all very optimistic that everything will start making some noise pretty soon.
Very good.
We're about to name a turn for him.
Are you about to? This is
About to
sorry.
name-
We'll just
we're about
quickly say this is Bobby Epstein, the boss of this place, by the way. So you're about to name a corner after Mario.
Turn 20 is going to be the Andretti, greatest American champion of all time.
And one of my all-time heroes. That is fantastic. There you go. Well, are you going to go cut the ribbon or something now?
We're doing it at 5 o'clock.
Oh, sorry, we're holding you up. Okay, sorry.
We will definitely be
definitely
there.
be there.
Just got to
Go
wrap up
enjoy
the show,
cutting the
then we'll
ribbon.
be there. Bobby, Mario, thank you very much. Mario, congratulations on the corner name. A true honour for a legend of the sport.
Lovely to
Congrats.
see you.
Oh, cool. Bit of news there. Turn 20 is
Turn
now Andretti corner.
I mean, that's great.
Someone should tell the commentator.
Crofty, turn 20 is going to be
Turn 20
Andretti
is
corner.
now the Andretti corner.
I'm so glad I'm making my debut on Paddock Uncut because I wouldn't have known that at all.
And there he goes, through Andretti.
So we got a new corner, we've got a load of new liveries,
Yep.
we've got a load of new crash helmets as well. Mercedes are doing something really special this weekend. They're actually keeping the same livery they've had for the rest of the season.
Good. But our top story has to be what's going on at McLaren. Now,
Yeah.
I'm sure I don't need to recap the story too much for you. They didn't win the Singapore Grand Prix. That was George Russell. More on him coming up later. But they did wrap up the Constructors' Championship. They went back to Woking, had a bit of a party with everybody, said congratulations, and didn't mention anything about Lando hitting Oscar and seemingly breaking the rules about not hitting your teammate. Until we came here. And then we thought, or at least I thought, and my media colleagues thought, well, if they're not going to ask them back in Singapore amidst a load of congratulations about the Constructors' Championship, let's ask them now. And you want to listen to this because it's quite intriguing. This is what happened. Are there any repercussions for the little bit of contact with Oscar in Singapore? And will it change any of the racing for the rest of the season, Lando?
I mean, of course, things are reviewed, and yeah, there are and will be repercussions for me to the end of the season. So yeah, it's not like I've got away with anything, but it was also an incident that let's say was small, and there was potential to try and avoid it. You know, it's something I never want to. I said it back after the race. I can't afford to make contact and have anything happen like what happened, because I put just as much risk on my whole championship from something going wrong as I do on whoever I might be racing against. So of course repercussions, yeah, for myself, but otherwise, yeah, the engagement and how we go racing is the same as it's always been.
I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't ask you what the repercussions are specifically, and is it going to hurt your chance of winning the World Championship?
From what I know, it's one question each. So thank you very much.
That's what I meant by I wouldn't be doing my job.
Well, it's one question each.
If I didn't ask.
Next question.
So maybe my colleagues can ask that.
They can ask whatever they like.
You've just told us that Lando has taken responsibility for coming together, the little clonk in Singapore. He's just told us that there are and will be repercussions for him. We think on track, we don't know. What are those repercussions, and will they give you an advantage in the World Championship?
I can't say what the repercussions are. It's for the team to know.
Is it a smack on the bum, less dinner money, a fine? What are we talking here? Is it
let your imagination run wild.
Well, I think. Okay.
But ultimately, he has taken responsibility for it, and there is a form of repercussion for that, yes.
But you're not going to tell us what it is?
Dad.
It's a fairly interesting. Okay, maybe someone else can ask.
Why do you guys don't want to tell us something about it? Because it is something that we have seen during the season so far, and we need to ask you guys all the times post-race about those things. So why is it that you don't want to go into detail about it?
Ultimately, we've got a race against 9 other teams as well, 18 others, and we don't want to give away anything that is sensitive to our team. So I think it's more than fair to keep that for ourselves, because we don't want to give any other teams an advantage on what it could be.
Right, okay, help me out, Karun, help me out, Crofty. I'm not going mad, so it's not a smack on the bum.
No.
It's not less dinner money. It's not having to do interviews with Glenn Powell and Simon Lazenby.
No, that's a bonus, surely.
What is it? And am I going mad here? Help me out.
But also, this is something McLaren didn't seem fit to try and reverse around in Singapore, and they thought it was absolutely part of the racing.
They thought it was okay.
Yeah, and it was all okay. But now, of course, it's not okay because they've done the detailed debrief. What are the repercussions? Well, strategy. Does Oscar now get a preferred strategy if there are repercussions on Lando's side for it? Is that one answer?
But do we think it has to be a sporting sanction?
Well, it can't be a fine. That's not going to make any difference.
And if it is a sporting sanction, that's going to hurt Lando's World Championship. That's the definition of a sporting sanction.
I'm honestly confused by all of it.
This is why I'm asking you to help me out.
Because why say something like that if you're not going to tell the full story? Because all you've done is taken a relatively quiet Thursday and just it's just exploded.
It was a quiet Thursday.
I mean, all of the media have suddenly come running since the drivers had that interview with you. They've played it out here in the paddock. Everyone's come running to listen and ask the same question that we are, which is, what are the repercussions? And now McLaren are saying they're not going to say it, and of course the drivers have said that as well. It just means that we're all now going to spend all weekend speculating for no reason, and it's just adding attention to something that should have just not been a conversation.
And also,
I'm confused.
Well done to you. Ted only gets one question in what we call the media pen on a Thursday. Well done to you for asking the follow-up, because it had to be asked.
Of course you have to.
And the evasiveness that then came out, Karun's right, has turned this into a bit of a story. Look, whatever repercussions they are, and if it's sporting and it's on track, we'll suss that out quite quickly within one race or 2 races. So it's not going to stay secret for long.
Yeah, but Lando's not going to be very happy because he thinks what he did in Singapore was okay, and he said any other driver would have done it. Yeah. Oscar would have done it, and if you didn't go for that gap, then you're not a racing driver.
And honestly, I mean, I wasn't in Singapore. I was watching at home, and I watched it happen. I thought, you know what? Good on you, Lando. You've had a go. You're showing a bit of, you're showing a bit of aggression, which is what you need to do. You've got a points deficit. You're coming back at your title rival. I enjoyed seeing it. I thought it was absolutely fine. I heard Martin saying it in commentary as well, and I thought it was all fine. And actually, I want to see them, now that the constructors' title is settled, I want to see them being a bit more selfish, because this is a life-defining thing they're fighting for. This is not an egg and spoon race at the local preschool. This is a world championship, and they might have one opportunity to talk to Damon Hill, talk to Jenson Button, talk to Jacques Villeneuve. This is something that matters for the rest of their lives.
And where I think this is a bit counterintuitive is that all season long, McLaren have stressed and have been correct when they've stressed this, that the drivers are free to race each other, and we're not going to interfere as long as they respect each other. But now, with 1/4 of the season to go, are McLaren now interfering with what the drivers can and can't do? I mean, we don't know the answer.
Because we don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to put a handicap on it? It's like a handicap race in a horse race. Is he going to carry more ballast? Is Lando going to carry more ballast? I mean, will it be the pit stops? Will it be
I don't think
less favourable time? I can't think what it will be, and the lack of clarity from them both. You heard the team member saying it's team IP, it's team intellectual property. It could hurt other teams. Yes, well, okay, I have to think about that one a bit. But what it's left is a big hole in their communications with their fans and everybody watching, who I think through us deserve an explanation for what's going to happen in this year's World Championship.
We should also say that whilst you were hearing from Lando and Oscar, Andrea Stella came out and came over just to say hi. And we said, oh, good time, you've come to say hi. We're just talking about repercussions. He went, oh, it's a lovely sounding word. I went, yes. What does it mean, though? He went, well, I'm not going to start talking now. I said, well, you can come and join us, feel free. He said, well, no, maybe now's not the time. You guys might scare me. And off he went. Now, we were having a bit of a joke with him, and he wasn't due to appear on the programme. But it would be nice, I think, if McLaren actually made those repercussions, whatever they are, clear and concise and available for us all to know.
Well, you need to be clear with your audience. You need to be clear with your audience, and they're not being at the moment. So maybe, listen, it's a long weekend, sprint weekend, so maybe we'll find out. So follow us on Friday and Saturday and Sunday. We will find out before the end of the weekend. Let's flip it round. If you're Oscar and you've now got Lando with some kind of sporting sanction on him, a sporting repercussion, we don't know what it is, how's it going to feel for Oscar if he then goes and wins the championship when Lando says, well, hang on, after I clonked into you in Singapore, I've been racing with one hand behind my back.
Yeah, and this is where
if we don't know what it is.
This is why again, we're assuming it's a sporting repercussion.
Yeah.
Right? It could well be you're handing over your podium prize money from Singapore to your teammate.
A fine, a big fine. Okay, well, tell us.
It could be
tell us if it's a fine.
I don't know.
I don't think that's not a deterrent. A fine is not a deterrent. You're still going to be world champion if you go against it. And to be honest, I don't think, to answer your question, Ted, I don't think Oscar will care one dot if and when he becomes the world champion at the end of the season. By the way, Oscar's saying to the written media this afternoon, I don't believe that the team are favouring one driver over the other, and I haven't believed that all season long.
Yeah, so I think my point is that I don't think they'll do a sporting repercussion that's actually going to hamper Lando's or Oscar, if it suddenly flipped around this weekend. I don't think they would do something like that to hamper Lando's chances to score the points. I don't think it'll be that severe.
You would hope that a team... Why do they need to get involved like this anyway?
I don't know why they've created this thing why we're all having to talk about it.
Should we go and have a chat to the new director of communications at McLaren?
Why do they have to get involved? I tell you why, because this is something else that Oscar said. There are always consequences. You can be selfish, but it's not always going to work. So Oscar said that about Lando. He said, you can be selfish.
So he believes Lando was selfish.
Yes, he does.
That's
what he seems to be saying.
I thought Lando was just racing, to be honest.
The talks were very...
Should we go and talk to Luca Colliano?
No. We don't have time for that.
Oh, okay.
There'll be plenty of time. There'll be plenty of time throughout that. But you're right in that it was a very quiet Thursday.
Yeah.
And these interviews have just exploded the whole story, and of the World Championship, and what makes me. What I still don't quite understand it is that if you think that Lando feels that he did nothing wrong and now he's been penalised in some way, how's that going to be for his state of his mood with his team? He's like, well, I was just racing. Why have you penalised me? And if you think Oscar would have done the same, then this is going to affect the racing, isn't it?
I think so. I think what McLaren have clearly said from day one, they don't want the drivers bumping each other, right? And they don't want something to happen that's to the detriment of the team. Think back to Monza, I think it was last year, wasn't it? in this case, it wasn't to the detriment of the team, because all that happened was the cars got swapped around. It was a detriment to one of the drivers, but the results were the same. So they don't want them bumping, which is fair enough, and I understand that. But I think that was a bit of a... It was a bit of a nothing bump. It was a bit of, you know... Can you turn this way so
What?
Yeah.
There
you go.
Yeah. Oh, the wall. No, you got to. Oscar had to be careful of the wall.
Yeah.
He could, but he didn't. But he could have. Lando could have pushed him into the wall.
So it was a hard.
What would you have done? What would you have done?
Well, in that moment,
if you were Andrea Stella in this meeting after celebrating constructors and sat down, and if Oscar's saying that was selfish of Lando, what would you have done as a team? I want to ask you both as an answer.
Quite clearly, gentlemen, it's racing. Lando did what he had to do to try and get past. It's Singapore, overtaking is difficult, so he saw an opportunity and he went for it. It wasn't right. We don't want to see banging wheels. Don't put yourself in that situation again. Get on with it.
What would you have done?
I think I would have pretty much said the same thing. I would have said, look, Lando he obviously got caught out behind Max, didn't he? Because he touched Max's tyre as well. And then bumped into him. And I think I would have just said, look, Lando, I was on the edge. We kind of got away with it because neither car was damaged. You had a bit of front wing thing, but you got away with it. Don't do it again. Slap on the wrist and just carry on with life. And I think that by coming out publicly and saying this thing about the repercussions, it's created this talking point and a distraction. It's taken it, and maybe that's what they wanted. Maybe they wanted us to I don't know, take away from the conversation of what's happening on track by talking about this for today. But I don't get it. It seems like a very strange thing to do.
I think they're going to have to tell us what it is, otherwise they're not being straight with your audience and your fans.
And they're fans.
They're fans. That's what I mean.
Can I just put one more thing into the mix here?
Yep, please do.
Do McLaren think that Max Verstappen is such a significant rival now that they need to do something to prioritise the way they go racing?
No, but they think he's the significant problem, potential threat to their drivers' championship.
Yes.
That they have to make sure that these two don't cannon into each other again.
Yeah.
So, okay, but then, I don't know, make them do 10 days more marketing as a penalty. They'd hate that, wouldn't they?
Yeah. No, Ted,
and they'd really
leave. Don't get a Formula One driver to do 1 day's more marketing.
Exactly. So, you know, yes, they're worried about Max. Of course they are. And they have to be.
And they should be, yes.
And the quickest way you'll get Max Verstappen, a 5-time world champion, is if these two carry on clonking into each other.
Listen, if they have a DNF, if they hit each other and have a DNF,
they're both out.
And they're both out, and Max takes 25 points out of them,
then he's...
I mean, it is absolutely
then he's 30 points in with...
You're the historian. Have we ever seen McLaren going for a drivers' championship where the two drivers were battling each other so intensely that another driver came and won that championship? Has that ever happened in the history of Formula One, ever? Answers on a postcard, please, to do you remember?
2007.
Exactly.
A future documentary coming out, no doubt.
Very, very perplexing. Right, talking about Max. Is he still in the championship? Yes, of course, he is, but he didn't win Singapore. That was, of course, George Russell. Get on there to him in a bit. But this is Max's reflections after that P2 in Singapore and his championship status.
The last 3 weekends have been, very nice. Some a bit better than others. I still think that in Singapore we didn't maximize the potential of the car. But again, you analyze everything, right? And you try to do better. And that's what we'll try to do again here. I mean, it's a great track to drive. Sprint weekend, always a bit hectic. But just curious to see what we can do.
These last 6 races, do you think the car will be quick everywhere?
Not sure. At the end of the day, this car is a bit different, of course, also to the previous one. So it's not a guarantee that it works everywhere. But I prefer to just look at it, race by race. So we'll try to do our best here, and then we'll move on and we'll see what we get.
Well, if it worked in Singapore, presumably it's going to work here. They've still got that new higher downforce front wing. By the way, Yuki doesn't have it again this weekend. Says he wants it. It would be better for the positivity of the front. Doesn't have it this weekend. I asked, but he doesn't have it. Right, Max chances.
I just want to say, because I was in that press conference, what I loved once again, Max. I'm not really thinking about the title. I'm taking it race by race. I'm just not concentrating on that. What they do, they do. What I do, we do. And this car feels much better balanced. Then he was asked, well, how does it feel better balanced? He said, well, basically, it's not dramatically oversteery and not dramatically understeery. And that's where we're getting the balance now. And he said, I believe if we've got the balance, I will win races. And there is a supreme confidence in Max Verstappen, underpinned by his form and his abilities, it has to be said. And that, to me, is a real worry if you're in Papaya at the moment.
He's like all the great drivers.
Especially if one of the drivers has got some sort of repercussion penalty.
Moving on from that.
Sorry.
Yes.
That's going to be the bingo game, is it? How many times can Ted say repercussions?
What is this?
In every session. We've got 5 sessions this weekend.
Basically, for the rest of
that's going to be the word of the weekend. Isn't
repercussions, and it will
Can
be
you give me
repercussions for that.
a better word?
No, we're going to stick with it. It's
Consequences. But,
a penalty.
I tell you what,
it's got an inter-team penalty. They've given their own driver a penalty.
Moving on from that,
they've given their own driver a penalty.
Well, potentially, yes. We'll see what the repercussions are. But the championship, the championship battle, I think we're in a Jurassic Park moment, yeah? Where basically, Oscar and Lando are in a Jeep, and behind them is a T-Rex, and the T-Rex is driving for Red Bull, and they're in the Jeep. And the Jeep might be quick, but the T-Rex could be faster, ladies and gentlemen. That's what we've got on our hands for the next 6 races and 3 sprints.
Good.
Do you want to talk about Ferrari as well while we're here? Look,
Max,
I mean,
people are coming out with birthday cake.
Nobody's in charge of the show. It's a podcast, but we're happy to be televising.
It's Charles Leclerc's birthday today.
It is. I know. Tanti Auguri, Charles Leclerc.
Bless you. Thank you very much.
That's right.
28, right?
Happy birthday. Yes. Is it 28?
28.
God, they're still young, these guys, aren't they? Crikey. Okay, last one on Max. Do we think he's got a decent chance then if George and Mercedes got it right in Singapore, but maybe all this circuit suits the Red Bull a little bit more and a bit more than the McLaren? Could Max win the sprint race and the Grand Prix here this weekend?
I think he's absolutely a contender. And, you know, you have to look at...
Favourite or contender?
I think he's a contender. I think the McLaren's... it's going to be McLaren's versus Max. Okay. You know, despite what we saw in Singapore, I don't know if Mercedes will be up there. This is a more conventional circuit. Singapore was an outlier, a bit like Canada. I think Max is absolutely in this fight. And you know, write him off at your peril.
McLaren are good in the medium speed corners, he said. Other than that, it's circuit specific, it's weather condition specific. The heat might be a bonus for McLaren this weekend, but we'll see.
Yes, good point. It is due to be 30, 31, 32.
31, 32.
Well,
Bring your
nice, nice to see you in navy shorts.
I
hope the heat didn't affect the integrity of the birthday cake. Is Zhou Guanyu just finishing the birthday cake?
Well, he's allowed birthday cake.
Well, I'm sure he's a reserve driver. What was the birthday cake? It couldn't have been an ice cream birthday cake. Maybe it was a chocolate cake.
I was here earlier when Zhou Guanyu had to FaceTime the Ferrari communications team to find out how to get to the paddock because he's no longer in the driver car park. They shipped him off to some outside car park somewhere.
He was in the one that
is somewhere out the back, and he was sort of FaceTiming people going, how do I get to the paddock? I'm lost.
Obviously, you walk under turn 1 and then round the back.
It's a long way.
There are media shuttles. Well, he doesn't want to get into a media shuttle.
Yeah, poor Joe.
Quite right.
Lovely man.
Right, other big story of the day was, fresh off the Singapore win, was that George Russell finally has his contract extension. The team just say it's for 2026, but there were lots of questions to him as to what that really means and what it means for the future, and particularly next year with Mercedes.
You know, for me, looking into next year, there was a lot of things I wanted off track to get right, to allow me to perform at my very best on track. And the truth is, if every single seat was available and I could choose any single seat to race for in 2026, I would choose to be with Mercedes. So I truly think that is the place that will give me the best chance of winning the World Championship next year. With everything I know now, you know, we might turn out to be wrong, but with everything we know now, I'm feeling really happy with the deal we've done, confident with the team, and looking forward to moving onwards and upwards.
Onwards and upwards, forwards and upwards, forwards and yon. To championship glory.
Thought about that.
And you can talk about, I did. And if you can talk about whether it's a 1 year for 2026 or more, but the point, my question to him, which I don't know whether that was or not, I don't think it was if he wins next year's World Championship, they won't be able to get rid of him for Max Verstappen if Verstappen is available for 2027. But then, if it's
why not?
You can't have,
why not?
You can't turf out your.
Why not? Frank Williams did it 4 times.
Your current world champion.
Frank Williams lost 4 world champions.
They turf out Kimi. But then, could you have Max Verstappen and a world champion George Russell in the same team for Mercedes in 2027?
Super team. What a
You can't have 2 bulls in one field.
Look, how many years is a multi-year contract? That's what I'd like to know.
I don't know.
Yeah, well, exactly.
George wouldn't say.
And once again, we are left in the dark on this one. Now, Lewis Hamilton was on a multi-year contract that turned into a 1 plus a 1-year option. So is that what George is on now as well? And is that why he's remaining tight-lipped?
The crucial thing, what at least he did make clear in there, is that he's got his fewer days in marketing and media so that he can spend more time with the engineers. He was quite clear on that. He said Toto didn't have to give him that, but was quite generous in understanding that George felt he was undercooked slightly in the last few years with doing so much media and marketing that he didn't have enough time to spend on the technicals.
To me, this whole experience, it should be a kind of a, not a red light, but an orange light, at least, for George, that it's time for him to separate his management away from the race team he's with, because it's, you know, it's put him in the passenger seat of this whole process. It's been dragged out. You know, in effect, Toto's been negotiating on both sides of the table for this deal, and really, you know, for 27, if Max is a contender, and he absolutely is a contender for that seat for 27, then George has got to spend, I think, next year trying to get control of his own destiny. He needs to put himself in the driving seat of his own contract process, his own decision-making process, and also understand what's happening in the rest of the market. Because, you know, as long as Mercedes has been managing him, why would they do that? Whereas he needs to understand, is there an option to go to Aston for 27? Is there an option of Ferrari? Who knows what the Honda power unit will be like? Maybe that's the place to be, or the Audi one, or
Newey. Maybe Newey comes up at Aston. Maybe he comes up with the best car next.
Or the Red Bull Ford. You know, So you know, there's all. Could it be a straight swap? So he's got to, I think, take this as a bit of a warning flag that he needs to get control of his own own career, own destiny, and also see what the options are.
When your boss and your manager is putting an arm, physically or metaphorically, around Max Verstappen to say, you could be the prodigal son that I've been waiting for, you need to have control of your own destiny. That's why it's important.
Good. Do we think Toto's doing that?
Well, did you not see what he was doing in the summer or before that, or, you know?
Well, we are down on the ground. Flight 89 is done. And look at the scenery. Hey, is this the most beautiful scenery so far in the World Tour? It's got to be up there, hasn't it? It's got to be up there. Look at that. I'm waiting for this guy to move out of the way. I don't know if he's going to, but yeah. So we are down in Equatorial Guinea in Malabo. Yeah, local time is 10 to 1 in the afternoon, and the outside air temperature is 27 degrees. No issues. No dramas of Flight 88. This was all smooth going. I thought I stayed quiet. I was watching the... I think I had the audio on, didn't I? I was watching the F1 build-up show for the weekend. And just had that on. Just got on with it. Deviated slightly. Obviously, we didn't have ILS in, but deviated quite well at the end. The descent was nice. Pretty much bang on. No dramas today. Is this guy moved? Come on, dude. I'm going to try and park up over there. Is there any way I can go down that way? I could go down that way and park up in there. I don't fancy... Do I just go round him? I might just go round him. Anyway, welcome to Equatorial Guinea. This has been Flight 89. I'll get it parked up. And join me for Flight 90, which will be to Libreville, Gabon. How long that flight is, I don't know yet. I've not had a look into the future. But yeah, we have come across the ocean. And, well, beautiful here, isn't it? Okay. I'll get it parked up. And that will be Flight 89. Yaounde to Malabo is complete. Let's have a look. Let's just finish off this as well. We're in the last minute of this as well.
I thought that was AI. I thought that was AI.
No, one of them was. I think the reality is, though, Ted, at the moment, in this market, Max Verstappen is the top dog.
Yes.
He is the number one target for every team. I totally understand, but he's driving, you know, he's driving at an extremely high level. But so is George Russell. George Russell is maybe not the number one pick of the F1 draft, as good in America. But he's certainly one of the next four, isn't he? He's up there with that next group of drivers.
He's one of the drivers of the scene.
And his value is high, so he needs to be in control of his future.
Oh, so much to talk about. So much. And you are going to be talking further with Simon Lazenby and with Jenson Button and Danica Patrick, and we're going to be talking in commentary as well. These are the times you need for when we're going to be discussing, and hopefully discussing and finding out what the penalties or repercussions or whatever they are. Friday practice, will we know by then? 6 p.m. Friday evening. Second practice, sorry, it's not second practice, sprint weekend. Thank you very much. It's sprint qualifying at 10 p.m.
Repercussions.
You're welcome, there will be repercussions. Then it's the sprint race Saturday morning, I know that, but it's not Saturday morning for you. It's 5 p.m. And then it's the qualifying for the Grand Prix, which is at 9 p.m. There'll be a notebook after both of those, by the way. I'll have got my act together. And then the US Grand Prix, lovely time of day, Sunday evening for a 6:30 on air. And Crofty will be saying lights out and away we go at 8 p.m.
Yes.
Right. Thoughts, story of the day, and where do we go from here?
Story of the day.
Story of the day. Where do we go?
Well, there we go. Down on the ground. Story of the day is
find some more answers to
Cameroon to Equatorial Guinea is done.
Today that we didn't get the answers to, that we might get tomorrow when we talk to the likes of Andrea Stella and Toto.
So what did it say? Half an hour. I think
It's taken another little twist today.
It has, but I've got to get this man to the.
I forgot about the seatbelts again.
There'll be repercussions for everyone.
Okay. There will be repercussions.
Repercussions is the word of the day, isn't it?
If not, there will be repercussions. Listen, join us throughout the weekend, sprint weekend here in Texas. Thanks for
there
watching.
We go. Save this one. Well, it was half an hour. Bang on. There you go. Half an hour, absolutely on the nose. 30 minutes and 25 seconds from FKKY to FGSL. And you know the game. The World Tour continues. Join me next time for Gabon. All right, see you next time. Drama-free, Flight 89. Smooth as you like. See you for the next one.